Hello, welcome back to Paul's Stuff. This is my space on YouTube where I get to talk about all the things I love. Lots of Star Wars, lots of lightsabers. At the moment, lots of Droid Depot Droids as well. So I've recently purchased these two droids and done a number of videos on them. What I want to look at today is how the droids interact with each other. So I've got videos on how they operate and my kind of in-depth views of how they are, but today I want to look at how they interact with each other. As one of the selling features of these is that they interact with each other, and they interact with beacons which are placed around the parks in Galaxy's Edge, which is where you can buy these. So these are exclusive to Galaxy's Edge. I buy them here in the UK through a company called Double Box Toys. I'll leave a link in the description to that. If you're interested in getting one of these here in the UK, I find that's the best place to get them. They will buy these from the park, have them imported into the UK, and then send them out to you from the UK, all for one price. They tend to be expensive. Disney items are expensive. Now this is R2 interacting with Chopper, and hopefully Chopper will reply in a moment. As you can see, I've got the remotes for these are on. I've got a green LED power light. There goes Chopper. I've got green LED power lights on my remotes. This is a mod from a YouTube channel called Ruthsarian. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to Ruthsarian's channel because we're going to be looking at some of his other stuff today as well. One of the things that has been said about these is that they would only interact with each other if the remotes were off, but as you can see, these remotes are on and I'm not touching them. These droids are interacting with each other with the remotes on. Switch the remotes off. That should have no effect at all on them interacting with each other. As long as the droids are on, they will interact with each other. So hopefully in a few moments we'll see them interact again. So yeah, the other thing that these interact with are beacons in the park. So as you go around Galaxy's Edge, there are Bluetooth technology beacons which will beam a signal that the droid will pick up. And the droid will respond to whatever area it is in the park. So if you've got a resistance droid, it will get scared when you go into a first order area. If you've got a first order droid, it will get angry when you go into a resistance area, and so forth. The scoundrel chips, or both of these are scoundrel droids. There we go, still interacting with each other. Chopper will go in a moment as well, I hope. Chopper's going to be Chopper and do his own thing. So yeah, they interact with these beacons around the park. So there we go, they do interact whether the remote controls are on or off. Doesn't matter. So as you go around the park, there are these various beacons that the droids will react to as well, which is okay, but if you're in the UK like me, it's a long way to go to get to the parks. And certainly a long way to go to get there on any sort of regular basis. So I found an alternative way to be able to play with the beacons from the park, and that is one of these little gizmos. Doesn't come with this label on, that's a label I've put on, but does come in the box. This is the Droid Toolbox. Again, this is an item that has been developed by Ruthsarian, same guy that did the remote controls. Just try and give you a little close-up view of the drop screen there on this. Now, there's a couple of ways of being able to get one of these. It's based on a LilyGo circuit board that you can buy off of. You can buy it direct from LilyGo. You can buy them on Amazon. You can buy them, and then Ruthsarian has all of the Arduino files and software that you need to be able to put this on here. So if you're familiar with Arduino and using it, and you've got a little bit of knowledge about electronics, you can get one of these LilyGo boards, put the software on it, and you're ready to go. If you don't have the confidence to do that yourself, there are a couple of places you can get this. One of them is where this one came from. This one came from Crafted Cores. Now, when you get these from Crafted Cores, the splash screen is modified to reflect that it's from Crafted Cores. And if you want them to update it, you can send it back to them, and they will update it for you, and you'll retain all of that lovely splash screen and things. I would have to send it back to the US for that to happen, and I don't want to have to do that. So I've taught myself how to update this using the files from Ruthsarian, and so mine has reverted back to being a Ruthsarian version of the software. You can also get these from a seller on Etsy. I will leave a link for that as well. I'll leave a link for Crafted Cores. And what this little box does, it will do a couple of things. So if we press one of the front buttons here, you can see we've got a little menu come up, and that menu says scanner and beacon. Now, if we click into scanner, this is now scanning for droids, and it's found 2 droids. It's found Chopper, C110P, that's Chopper, and if we go through the menu, it's found an R unit Scoundrel, which is R2D2. You navigate using the buttons, and you also operate it using the buttons. Now, let's go into Chopper. Right, that's now connecting to Chopper. I forgot how to use it. You have to do a long press to get in there. And then once you're into the menu for that droid, he will make a noise like he's just done. And then you can play the sounds. So you can go through, there are different groups of sounds and different numbers of tracks in each of those sounds. You can go through and play the various sounds. So if we go to a different group, we'll go to group 2 and then play the sound. So this is a good way of being able to go through the droid and play all the sounds that are on the droid. There are some sounds on these droids. There's one that only plays when he's activated. You can access that. There's an accessory sound that's never been used before. You can access that. And if we go back, long press on the bottom button, we go back and we'll go to volume. And in here, you can adjust the volume of the droid. You can do this on the Droid Depot app as well. But we can do that here as well. We can reduce the volume down or play around with the volume. I'm just going to go back to the initial screen, and we'll now go to the beacon menu. So the other function of this is that this will play. So these two guys are still interacting with each other. I'm just going to turn them off now so that we can get a fresh start from them when we start playing the beacon signals. So you have location beacons. So if we go into location, you can see there are all the different locations around the park where the beacons are listed on here, and you can go into those and select a particular location. You can also select droid, which then you can emulate the signals that the droids are putting out to one another for them to interact with each other. Random allows you to, that will just select a random beacon for you. And rotating gives you a rotating menu of the beacons that are in the park. You can set the time which each beacon plays for. So this is currently set for 60 seconds. I think that's the minimum that you can do. And then we just go down to start beacon. And if we click on that, that will now run for 60 seconds. We'll pop our droids back on. And hopefully at some point they will respond to this beacon, which is currently the alert beacon. We've got a little countdown timer in the corner. That's counting down how much time there is before it swaps beacon. There are time delays on these things interacting with each other and with the beacons. So actually we'll just put one droid on so that we know he's actually responding to the beacon rather than the other droid. So I'll turn R2 off for the moment, and Chopper will respond to the beacon that is being put out by this little Droid Toolbox. It's a really neat little package. As I say, it comes in one of these boxes. These come with this. If you buy, you can buy just the board, or you can buy it in this enclosure. Okay, we've swapped to the resistance beacon, and Chopper's just responded to that. When you buy them from LilyGo, you can buy either just the board, or you can buy them in these enclosures. It has a little lithium battery in it, and a USB-C port on the side. You can power it from USB-C, you can update it through that USB-C, and you can charge the internal battery via that USB-C. Comes with a nice little box. I adapted mine by putting a Droid Depot logo on the front, and when I got this, the foam on the inside was loose, so I've fixed that into the box. It makes a nice little package. But this is we've now gone on to Doc Ondars. We've got 45 seconds of that, so hopefully Chopper will respond to that soon. It's a nice way of being able to get the functionality of taking one of these to the park without taking one of these to the park. You can do that in your own home. So it's really nice. It adds a little bit to the functionality on these. Ruthsarian is updating this all the time. One of the latest features is it has different fonts on it now. I'll show you that. Show you that in a moment. It's just about to go to another beacon. Now we've gone to an unknown beacon. This is a beacon that is somewhere around the park, but hasn't been identified exactly where it is yet. I think people have different ideas. And there's Chopper responding to that beacon. So I'm just going to turn that off and reset it. And then, yeah, one of the latest features that Ruthsarian's put on here, if you long press the top button, it will change The font does default back to the original font every time you turn it off and on. So if I reset it now, it will go back to the original font. It's a nice little feature that's there. The very latest update on this has added the random beacons, or the revolving beacons. The random beacon's been there for a little while. The revolving beacon is the latest feature on here, and so Ruthsarian is updating this on a fairly regular basis at the moment. We're on version 0.68a at the moment. I believe at the time of me recording this is the latest update. I've had this about a week and I've already updated it twice. Another really nice addition to these Droid Depot Droids. So hope you found that useful. Just one other thing, I did do a little bit more weathering on Chopper since we last saw him on video. He's now got some chipping around his head particularly, but other parts of his body as well. I just added those with some silver Sharpie pen, which I found that the Sharpie pen can smudge quite nicely on these. So after I put the Sharpie pen on, he's had a quick blast with some semi-gloss clear spray paint, just to seal all of that weathering in and to stop it coming off on my fingers when I pick him up. Yeah, so that's how these droids interact with each other. They do interact with each other. They do interact with each other outside of the park. They do interact with each other as long as the droids are turned on, regardless of whether the remotes are turned on or not. And they do interact with the beacons around the park. Now, one of the things people have noted is when you're in the park, it's really busy. And it can be difficult to hear that these droids are making a noise. And coupled with that as well, as you've seen in this video, they interact about once every 1.5 to 2 minutes. So it's very easy to miss those interactions and to think that they're not interacting. But they do actually interact with the beacons in the park. They will interact with the emulated park beacons that you can get on the Droid Toolbox. They are interacting with each other. It's more a kind of call and response thing, really. They're responding to the Bluetooth signals that are being put out either by another droid or by a beacon somewhere in the park or with something like the Droid Toolbox. So anyway, that is a quick little video today. I hope that's been useful for you. If it has, please consider liking the video. As always, if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing to the channel if you like the content. Lots more stuff like this. I have a sizable Star Wars collection. I'm working my way through that. I try and do lightsaber reviews and how-tos on a regular basis. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, might be worth subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell. That will tell you when new content is going live on the channel. Thank you for watching this far. I really appreciate it if you have. And that's it for today. Just leaves me to say, hope to see you all again soon, and cheerio everyone.